All right, so you saw the title, you saw the thumbnail, you see what's on the screen. So I'm just going to give you one more warning. What this professor was talking about is so horrendous. I mean, just please, someone might want to start up the wood chipper, all right? Someone needs to call the FBI and get them to raid his computer. This is horrendous of what he's about to say. This is terrible, and it's happening at one of our universities. And you can pause the video real quick, put in the comments below, which state do you think this university exists in? This is Fredonia University, a professor of philosophy at Fredonia University talking about how, and again, you see it on screen, how having relations with children is, might not be totally wrong. That is what this professor is talking about. So if you had to take a guess which state this university is in, take a guess. All right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you guess New York, congratulations. My first guess was California. What would you know, right? So New York University has this professor of philosophy. Some people say he's also professor of ethics or something like that. All I can see so far is professor of philosophy. It has a video out of him talking about how having relations with children is not entirely wrong in his opinion. So I'm just going to let him speak for himself a little bit real quick, all right? And again, warning, it's awful.
Imagine that an adult male wants to have sex with a 12-year-old girl. Imagine that she's a willing participant. A very standard, very widely held view that there's something deeply wrong about this, and it's wrong independent of it being criminalized. It's not obvious to me that is in fact wrong. I think this is a mistake, and I think that exploring why it's a mistake will tell us not only things about adult-child sex and statutory rape, but also about fundamental principles of morality.
This is a professor at a college. And here's the thing, thank God for libs of TikTok. Truly, thank God for libs of TikTok for bringing people like this to the front, because we need to know about this stuff happening. When they say, oh, just, send your kid to college so they can have a good life. No. This is what they're learning at college. Kids, people are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn from people like this guy. Right? And it's funny, again, I've said this multiple times. Before I started making videos like this, I never really thought that the abuse of children, you could say, is as widespread as it turned out being. I really thought that some people were kind of jumping the shark with the whole, the society is run by pedos. It turns out I keep doing videos on this because it keeps happening. I don't want to keep doing videos on this, but it keeps happening. It keeps freaking happening, and it's awful. And the fact he feels so comfortable coming out and saying stuff like this, I think says more than anything else. And it's worth saying. He's a professor of philosophy. If you want to talk about, actually, try to play devil's advocate of, okay, so what's truly the age of consent? Other countries have different ages than we do. I obviously don't agree with that sort of stuff. But if you want to have that discussion and kind of like play devil's advocate with it a little bit and kind of, talk about the history of how things have led up to now, that's fine. I think, every idea should be talked about, and you should be able to be free to talk about really almost every horrendous idea you could think of. But the fact that he says that to him, it doesn't seem like it is objectively wrong for an adult to have relations with a child, a 12-year-old at that. And again, he's not talking, there's some countries out there who say, 15 or 16 should be the age of consent. And, I'm not sure if I exactly agree with it, but I can kind of at least see maybe where they're coming from. At 16, people get licensed and stuff like that. Many countries, people start drinking and start basically being recognized as an adult. So I could kind of understand where they're coming from, as much as I might disagree with it. But this guy's talking about 12 years old. 12 years old. And this isn't the only video, right? There's more of these videos of him talking about this. 12 years old. And he's saying that's not obvious to him that's wrong. This is who people are paying money to learn from. Right? And again, he feels comfortable. I want to keep emphasizing this as much as possible. People like him are clearly so comfortable saying this sort of stuff because obviously there's more people around him who agree with it. All right, that they wouldn't be so comfortable saying this sort of stuff in the way they do, or they would pick their words, a bit more intelligently about it, more carefully, if they actually had people around him who were disgusted by these ideas. So clearly the people around him are not really that disgusted with the ideas he's spreading. But this isn't just a one-off. Here's him continuing on.
Well, there's a couple things to say here. One is, even if you are looking for a threshold, let's say there's a threshold. I'm making this number up, but let's say it's at age 8. Still, that
Age
tells you that
8.
some adult child sex is permissible. Second, the notion that it's wrong even with a 1-year-old is not quite obvious to me. There are reports in some cultures of grandmothers filleting the baby boys to calm them down when they're colicky. Now, I don't know if this is true, but this is sort of widely reported as occurring in at least one culture, and it working, that the grandmothers believe this actually works. If this were to be true, and again, I don't know it to be true, if it were to be true, it's hard to see what would be wrong with it. So, yeah, I guess I think, no, I don't think there's a blanket period beyond which this is permissible. If we're interested in willing participation, which is the way I structured it, then yeah, there's a point below which people aren't willing participants in anything because they don't have intentions or they don't have the sort of mental states that allow for willing participation. But no, I don't think it's blanket wrong at any age.
He mentioned a 1-year-old. A 1-year-old? Are you kidding me? I think a lot of people are saying in the comments, tell me that you've been diddled without telling me you've been diddled. I'm going to use that term instead. This, how is the FBI not kicking down this guy's door? Mind you, when the FBI thought that Project Veritas had a diary of a private citizen, they kicked down his door and seized a bunch of their documents and then leaked out to the press, right? So the FBI has no problem kicking down the door of someone because they have a diary. This guy is openly talking about how he doesn't think it's wrong that's 12-year-olds, having adult relations. He doesn't even think it's objectively wrong for a 1-year-old. A 1-year-old. I can't. I can't imagine how this isn't bigger than it is. This is insane. I know this is like you can see this tweet happened February 1st, right? That Libs of TikTok has shared this. I'm doing this at about midnight right now, so it's basically still only been one day. This is horrendous right here. And again, he keeps on going.
They might think that children can't be willing things in general. It's an odd view in that they seem to will things all the time. They will participation in kickball. They will showing up, participating in the bar mitzvah
Kickball
lessons,
and sex are the same thing.
So there's all sorts of things that they will. You might think, well, maybe there's something distinct about sex that they can't really understand it. It's not clear to me that what they're not getting at is consent. I suspect what they want to say is, okay, they're willing participants, they're voluntary participants. They have some understanding what's going on, not understanding we do, but some understanding, but they haven't consented. Perhaps that's so, but that's a different claim from their being unwilling. There's just lots of activities that children engage in that they don't understand all that well. For example, when you first show up to participate in a judo tournament or you prepare for your bat mitzvah, I mean, you have a rough idea, but it's not clear how much you fully understand it.
Okay, so he's making the argument of there's other things that kids do they don't fully understand. Yet the difference is those things are actually good for them to do. As a parent, your goal is to push them into things that will be healthy for them to participate in. My parents put me in basketball, soccer. I didn't care for soccer, so basketball mostly. I'm 6'5". What do you expect? Baseball, golf. A bunch of sports, right? They pushed me into doing some church programs like the RAs and things like that. Things that would actually help me, not sex. Are you kidding me? This idea that if we allow them to go towards one thing, if we're allowed to push kids into doing one thing, we're allowed to push them into doing everything. No, we're not. I can't push my kid to drink alcohol. That would be illegal, right? I can't push my kid to take heroin. I shouldn't push my kid to obviously be in the same classroom as this man here. All right, we push kids into certain situations that we know will benefit them, where they will grow, they will develop in a positive fashion, right? Yeah, I'm going to push them into Little League basketball. I'm not going to push them into again, taking this man's class, right? There's a big difference in the things we try to put kids forward into, because we want them to grow and develop in a positive way, whether they consent to that activity of basketball or not, right? They might not like playing basketball, but, try it at least for a while and, figure out from there, because we know we'll help them grow if they get into it. He's comparing them playing sports to having sex. Absolutely just bizarre. And he keeps on going. And I'm not going to play all of these because it'll take too much time, because he keeps on going. And again, go to Libs of TikTok. If you're not already following Libs of TikTok, I don't know what you're doing. Follow Libs of TikTok and look at it if you feel up to watching it. He just keeps on going. He keeps on and keeps on. He's talking about how there could be benefits. That's a 2-minute clip, so I don't want to play the entire thing. But he talks about how there could be benefits to allowing pedophilia in life. Just absolutely just evil stuff, right? Evil stuff. And here's the most up thing about it of all. This should be with every news story, right? This should be on every news story, that this professor of philosophy at this renowned college in New York is saying these sort of things. Yet, if you type in Fredonia University, Stephen Kirshner, you don't get anything. You get the fact, you rate my professor. Now, apparently, he got in trouble back in 2019 because he talked about having Asian romantic preferences, which at first I thought, was he just saying that, hey, he's into Asian girls and people got pissed off because he was, they thought it was racist. No, he gets weird with it. You can go check that out on your own time. He gets weird with it. Student reviews and just normal articles coming from the college. There's not a single damn article about this man out there currently. Not a single article. And I'm sorry, I just realized that my screen isn't totally aligned with what you're seeing here. But again, not a single article about what's going on with this man, who's defending this sort of stuff, who obviously, I think, was probably abused as a kid, more than likely. I don't want to make any allegations, obviously, about maybe some things he might have been doing too, but how can anyone allow this man to be teaching? Right? How does this college allow them to be teaching? It's actually been pretty funny. If let's see if I can't find this real quick. So Fredonia University, right here, on all their stuff now, the last post was on January 24th. What's the first responses? Stephen Kirshner, is this your professor? Of course, the video talking about it, right? Just care to comment? You okay with this? A lot of people just pointing this now out. So so social media manager's not having a great day. I bet he's not. I've had to work some of this kind of job before. No, he's not having a great day at all. And you see, it's just nothing but that. Nothing but comments involving it, which is just, it's great to see people, bringing this up, but the fact there isn't a single article from any reputable news source currently about this man, and the fact they haven't just instantly just came up with a statement already. I mean, it doesn't take long to look at this video and say, nope, this man should not be teaching. Get him out. Just, this is what's in our college campuses. This is what's in our college campuses. All right. Again, I said from the get-go, I did not expect there to be, when I started making YouTube videos, I did not expect to do this many videos on this kind of subject matter, but it keeps happening. It keeps occurring, and I don't know what else to do other than talk about it, because if I don't, I'm going to go insane. All right, I'm going to go insane. But what do you think? Leave in the comments below. I mean, how long do you think it will be, or do you think that it will ever happen that the news will start reporting on professors like this teaching the next generation of leaders? Again, this man is teaching the next generation of leaders in our country. And he's talking about stuff like this. Absolutely insane. What do you think in the comments below? As well as, of course, if you have enjoyed this video, hey, leave a like. Really would appreciate it. As well as, of course, subscribe as well. So, thank you so much for watching, and we'll be talking again real soon.